Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where I think I've decided that we are going to do a route coverage map mode. So let's go ahead and go into our route here. And I would like to do, let's see, this is a list of vector 3s that we've got right now, which is a little on the awkward side. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting, to be sure. So the question then is, do we implement this in the sub-hex manager? And I suspect we do, because we already have the function for coloring our mesh colors and clearing our mesh colors here. Now we currently don't color our color our meshes at all, and it looks a little bit on the fake side, but we've got a randomized color 32 here, and we've also got, I believe, here somewhere, we have an actual color mesh function. Populate, blah, 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 blah. All of this commented out. This is a lot of commented out stuff that we probably don't need anymore. I think it's safe to just delete this. This is all the generate buildings. I'm just going to do that. So let's get rid of all this. We do not need it anymore. So we'll just do that and cut the size of this substantially without changing any real compile time things. So we do have our sub-hex manager, but it kind of looks like our coloration is set in the subhexes themselves, the building hex. So that's interesting. But let's go ahead and do a public void. We're going to need multiple map modes, right? So let's go ahead and do a coverage map mode, but we're going to need an enum for this. So we're going to do a public... Yeah, we'll do an enum for this. So public enum map modes. And our first map mode is going to be coverage. Do we want to do this in the sub-hex manager here, though, with the map modes? Probably not. And then we're also going to need to figure out where we want to put these map modes, because we're going to need several of these. I think an ownership map mode that colors things based on whether you own the hex or something in the hex. We're going to need a coverage map mode that indicates whether you have some coverage within that hex or not. We're going to need a default map mode. So I think in the sub-hex manager isn't the right place to put this enum. I think we'll put that in the business along with the interaction mode. And we're going to implement it in a similar fashion. So we're going to need the default map mode. We're going to need the coverage map mode. We're going to need the ownership map mode. Do we need a demand map mode? I think that would be a good one. Do we need any other map modes? Not that I can think of immediately. So I think we'll leave it at that for right now, and we're only going to implement, for right now, the default and the coverage map modes. So I think we should go ahead and say something along the lines of, right about here, public void on change map mode. Okay, like so. And then we would do up here, near where we have our interaction mode, we'll just put it up here, I guess. Public map mode, public map modes, current map mode. And then I'm going to do a get return current map mode. Nope, not funds, current map mode. And then for set, this is going to be pretty simple. Current map mode equals value, but I want this to automatically call on change map mode. Like so. So that way, all we have to do is change the map mode. We don't have to call any functions or anything, and it'll automatically update when we set it. So When we change the map mode, we want to do a switch current map mode. And then we're going to do case map modes dot default break for now. Case map modes dot coverage break for now. Case map modes dot demand break for now, and case map modes dot ownership. And that's just also going to be breaking for now. And then we are probably going to need a set of buttons that would allow us to enter those map modes. And the question is, where do we want to put those? Maybe along here is what I'm thinking. So let's go ahead and create ourselves in the canvas. If we can get in here. There we go. Let's go ahead and create ourselves a UI. Actually, let's create ourselves an empty. I'm going to place it behind the loading screen. We have an error here? Oh, of course we do. I'm going to get rid of that for now. We'll come back to that. Maybe. Actually, I bet we won't, but we'll just get rid of that for now and compile that in. Okay, and then we are going to go ahead and set the pivot point on the x-axis to be 1, so that it's directly over to the right, over here. And we're just going to place it on right center. And then we're going to place it right like that. Width of, I think, something about 50 should be about right. And the height, well, maybe like 500. I doubt we'll need more than that. And this is going to be map mode toolbar. And then we're just going to simply put in a single UI button for right now. And we're going to do a vertical layout group. And the child will control everything. There we go. And this is going to be the default button. Excellent. And we're just going to have this read default for right now. Although, we want this to be a Text Mesh Pro. So let's go ahead and create one. UI Text Mesh Pro text. We'll go ahead and set this to be exactly the same size as the button there. And this text will simply read default. And we'll get rid of this old text, since it's much worse. This color is currently white. We'll make it black. Okay. Font size is obviously too high. We can bring that down to be like 16, 14, something like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and duplicate this 4 times for right now. And obviously this is too high. So can we do like a content size fitter? And then have the vertical fit be like preferred size? Or minimum size? I think preferred size will be what we'll go for. And then how do we set the preferred size of these? Like, content size fitter is not really what we want to use here. So I forget how we set the preferred size of these guys here. But I do want to have this be, like, generated here. So that it, like, automatically scales all of this. I can't remember how to set the preferred size of these buttons. Is it... I'm gonna have to look that up. Unity set preferred size. So we've got our layout element. Okay, we need to add a layout element. That's what it is. So we want to set the preferred height to be 50. Like that, so that they're just squares. That's what we needed. Okay, and then if we add additional map modes, it automatically just adds them in and resizes everything for us. Excellent. That is ideal. So I'm going to call this default label. And then we're just going to go through and name these. And I will go ahead and call this the coverage button. And we'll have icons for these later on. Coverage. Maybe we should auto-size these. That doesn't really work. Yeah, we'll have icons for them later on. For right now, that'll be fine. And then this will be the, what was it? This was the ownership. There we go. We'll make this be the coverage label. We'll have this be ownership. And then this will be the ownership label. And then this will be the demand button. And this would be the demand label. I don't know why I hit a semicolon there. Old habits, I guess. Okay. So when we actually do the change, that is done in the business, on change map mode there. And then the question is, do we have a way to color these hexes for each one? I don't think we do currently. But we can create one. We're going to need a way to do it for each level of hex as well. So this is going to be a bit of a substantial project, but that's not a big deal. So we've got our map modes here, and then when we change the map mode, so we should put in four functions here: public void on press map mode default, public void on press map mode coverage, public void on press map mode demand, and finally public void on press map mode ownership. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. And then realistically, all this has to do is something along the lines of current map mode equals mapmodes.default, and then that will automatically call this, which is where the real meat of this is going to be. So current map mode equals mapmodes.coverage, current map mode equals mapmodes.demand, and then current map modes, or current map mode equals mapmodes.ownership. Okay. So, we're going to need several levels, right? Because this is going to have to be coloring on the world hex, biome hex, and building hex level. So that's okay. But we're going to need to go ahead and, in each of those, create a function to return the proper color. Which, maybe we should implement this in that. I don't know. We could actually do this as like a getter. We could do a color 32. And then set that overlay color. Or we could do it in a function. So it would be along the lines of public void get map, or rather, set color by map mode. And then we just pass in the map mode's map mode. And then we do the switch statement like we did in the business here. But we need to go through and do that for all of them that are currently up. And we have to keep in mind that for the building hexes, a lot of them are virtual. So for right now, we're just going to leave it at this. I'm going to go ahead and put a cut in here, and next episode we'll start actually implementing this. Subscribe for more, and I will see you all next time.